If y'all want to get a glimpse of what third wave feminism looks like, then stick around for this story because like when I was skimming through the article before I even decided to record a video for this, I was getting mad halfway through and I said, you know what, let me just go ahead and stop reading right now and just go ahead and make a commentary on it. And shout out to Jason Black because I went on his Facebook page, his group page, and this is actually how I found out about this story. So you see these three women right here. Their names are Anna McNeil, Eliana Singer, and Rye Walker. And they decided that they were going to do a class action lawsuit against Yale University and a particular fraternity there because in a nutshell, it's like when I get to the meat and potatoes of the article, you'll see what I mean. But basically, in a nutshell, the reason why they're suing them is because they couldn't get into a particular social gathering, a party. That's basically what it is. That's why they're mad. But let me go ahead and read the article. It's a pretty lengthy article, but I want to read the entire thing so you can get the full scope of the story. It says 3L students who claim they were groped at fraternity parties have filed a class action lawsuit against the university, arguing the school has fostered an environment where alcohol-filled gatherings at off-campus fraternity houses dictate the undergraduate social scene. Now, you're reading that part right there, but once it really gets into the inner workings of the article, it sounds more like something else. While the New Haven, Connecticut University presents itself as a campus where fraternities are not a major presence, the lawsuit states that few options besides fraternity parties exist for women who want to socialize and meet other students. The lawsuit filed Tuesday in federal court in Connecticut comes as universities across the country have been trying to crack down on bad behavior by fraternities, from binge drinking and sexual harassment to abusive hazing rituals that have led to several deaths. Aware that their image has been tarnished, fraternities have often been partners with universities in trying to change party culture. Yale has often looked the other way, the plaintiff claims, while parties rage and women from Yale and surrounding colleges are routinely sexually harassed and abused. Joan Gilbride, a lawyer for the fraternities named in the lawsuit, said the accusations are baseless and unfounded, and that the fraternities and their national organizations would vigorously defend themselves against the claims. A Yale spokesman, Thomas Conroy, said he could not comment on the specifics of the lawsuit, but he shared a message to Yale students last month from the Dean of Yale College, Marvin Chun, a year-long review of campus culture, including fraternity culture. It said in part, "I condemn the culture described in these accounts. It runs counter to our community's values of making everyone feel welcome, respected, and safe. I also offer some plain advice about events like these. Don't go to them." The dean said that Yale plays no formal role in organizations not affiliated with the university, including Greek organizations. He said the university was working on providing alternative social spaces and events on campus. The lawsuit acknowledges that there may be questions about Yale's ability to regulate off-campus organizations. Yale often claims that the university cannot punish the fraternities because they are unregistered off-campus organizations, but it argues that this position is disingenuous because the fraternities act as extensions of Yale, providing party space while Yale permits them to use the Yale name, Yale email addresses, Yale bulletin boards, and campus facilities for recruitment. Peter McDonough, General Counsel of the American Council of Education, a university trade group, said universities have been reluctant to become deeply involved in regulating fraternity life. The very concept of a campus is where people learn not only from each other, but through shared experiences, and this is in K through 12 environment. The plaintiffs, a sophomore and two juniors, and now we're about to get into the part of the article that I really want y'all to hear, so really pay attention to this. The plaintiffs, a sophomore and two juniors, have demanded in the lawsuit that Yale and its fraternities rein in the parties. They have also asked for a court order that would force the fraternities to admit women and allow them to share in the benefits of the membership, like housing and powerful alumni networks that can lead to jobs, internships, and social capital. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. They're using the groping part as a way of a means for it to be a lawsuit to even happen. But that's the real reason right there. They want to have admission into a male space. That's what they have sororities for women. You don't see the men going out there trying to do this to the women, because if they did, it would be a double standard. They would quickly push back and say, well, you already have your male space. Why do you want to come into our space? It's already bad enough. We don't get the same benefits of you. And then they'll lie and say, we don't see us trying to come to you. That's a damn lie. Look at what they just did with the Boy Scouts. But let's continue. Simply put, fraternities elevate men to social gatekeepers and regulate women and non-binary students to sexual objects, the lawsuit said. So hold on. So because you can't get access to the things that the guys can, now you want to start saying shit like it allows them to be, what was it, give you non-binary access to students as sexual objects? Now it sounds like they just throwing out wild accusations. It says, moreover, Yale fraternities have alumni and professional connections to the business world, including banking, consulting firms, which often result in coveted job offers and economic opportunities. So it sounds like because they're not getting it, they feel that, oh, if we can come over to the men's side, then we can get it, and we should just be let in because we're women. That's not how this works. And even if they probably still would overlook you. The three women who filed the suit are Anna McNeil, age 20, a junior from Brooklyn, majoring in art history; Eliana Singer, age 19, a sophomore from Minneapolis, majoring in political science; and Rye Walker, age 20, a junior from Brooklyn, majoring in astrophysics and African American studies. The law firm representing them, Sanford Heisler Sharp, is also representing women who are suing Dartmouth College for sexual assault and discrimination by three professors who they say turned a human behavior research department into a 21st century animal house. All three women in the Yale case said they were groped at a fraternity party during their first semesters. In the lawsuit, Ms. Walker, who was African American, said she was passed over by fraternity brothers controlling admission to a party, while white women behind her were admitted. We eat together, take classes together, exist in this co-educational place, Ms. Walker said in an interview. I can only safely say that the one they're talking about is on the far right. But somehow, because of the way Greek life operates on campus and the control they have over social spaces here, that means on the weekend nights, men are the only ones who have power. Sororities are not a substitute for fraternities, the plaintiff said, because they have been around for much less time and do not have the depth of context that fraternities have. Well, I can't speak on it because I'm not in neither a fraternity or a sorority, but something just says that just sounds like another wild accusation. The lawsuit filed as a class action complaint accuses Yale of violating Title IX of federal education law, which prohibits sex discrimination by institution receiving federal funding and breach of contract for not providing the educational environment it promised. It accuses the fraternities of violating the Fair Housing Act for offering housing only to men, and Yale and the fraternities of violating Connecticut's law against discrimination in places of public accommodation. It seeks unspecified damages. See, this is that bullshit I'm talking about. Like I said, this is third wave feminism in the flesh right here. The women belong to a student group called Engender. How ironic of a name, and it's spelled Engender. That has used civil rights type tactics. Of course, they're going to use something that black people have created to try to force fraternities to accept women. Listen to that. Try to force fraternities to accept women, not ask them, but to force them, as in, I'm going to make you do something even against your will. For the past 3 years, women and non-binary students from Engender have tried to join fraternities. Only one fraternity, Sigma Phi Epsilon, let them apply, according to court papers. But in the end, they were denied, and the fraternity chapter said it was because their national chapter did not allow women. The complaint suggests that there is a symbiotic relationship between Yale and its fraternities, which involves letting the fraternities manage social life on campus in exchange for Yale officials looking the other way when parties got out of hand. So basically what it's all saying is this: they're mad they can't get in because they're women, even though fraternities are made for the men and sororities are made for the women, and they feel like they can't get access to certain things. Basically what it is, they're trying to get access to all the opportunities that the men have, but they're going about it the wrong way to try and get them to do it. Like throwing out lawsuits to get that to happen is ridiculous. But the scary part about this is you will have a lot of people that will agree with their lawsuit, and then you'll have people then there's a slight chance that they could possibly win. That's the even scarier part. The fraternities take on a liability associated with student alcohol consumption, and in exchange, Yale allows the fraternities to use Yale resources and recruit Yale students, and largely turns a blind eye to the sexual harassment and assault occurring in connection with the fraternities. The lawsuit claims that Yale lags behind peers like Harvard, which in 2016 announced that it was discouraging students from joining single-sex social clubs by barring them from leadership positions on campus and from receiving endorsements for prestigious scholarships like Rhodes. Let's look at that. So basically what they're saying is that with Harvard, what they're trying to do what Harvard is doing right now, and they said that with Harvard, if they discriminated against somebody because they were of another gender to get into a space that most likely was of a single gender, then they would withhold certain not accommodations, but accolades toward those individuals. And I bet you they probably stronghold them the same way these three are trying to stronghold Yale. In December, Harvard was sued by fraternities, sororities, and students, saying the new policy is discriminatory. Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. They're just mad because they can't get access to the stuff that the guys have. And the only way they feel they can do it is by opening up their mouths, yelling as loud as they possibly can, and saying, I'm going to sue you in order to get what I want. Now, if you like looking at this picture, you have two white women and one black, well, seemingly black young lady. This is some scary shit because it can start as something like this and then roll over into society at large, and that could directly affect us. It's bad enough that a lot of people actually think that black men have access to white patriarchy. Like if you listen to some of those arguments, they actually really think and believe that. This is exactly why I said in plenty of my videos that talk about stuff like this. Because of Me Too and Time's Up and this third wave feminism is exactly why a lot of male CEOs are not going to go out of their way to hire women for positions because of stuff like this. And then what's going to end up happening is if they do decide to do that, then it's going to be a bigger shitstorm that's going to come down on us. I'm going to leave the rest up to y'all. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. I will leave the link in the description. I will talk to you in the next one.